Hey there, lovely friends. This is Grace, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to the first of our March edition of our Digging Through Our Stash or Digging Through My Stash. This is actually video number 5, if I'm not mistaken, and we are doing letter E now. So with this one, I am going to dig through my embossing folder stash. And you would not believe, or I did not believe, how many embossing folders I own. It's kind of crazy. But here are the ones that I've picked for this particular layout, and it's going to be a double page spread. And I kind of want to do a rainbow with this. And as you can see, I'm using scraps of cardstock. So if you're looking for some ideas on what to do with some scrap cardstock that will be placed on a layout, this might be something that you will be interested in. So I don't really know right at this moment what size of blocks I want my cardstock to be. So I'm kind of measuring it, seeing, because I know those old Cuttlebug folders, they're not true 5.5. In length. I know some of them are a tad smaller, and so I'm just kind of seeing what will be the good measurement. And also I wanted to create a border all around my page, so I know that I'm not going to have an exact like 3-inch width of blocks, because I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch on the sides and on the top and the bottom of my layout. But I'm going to cut them. I think I'm cutting them at like 5.5 by about 3. So I think that's where I'm going to go with this. And I've also already went ahead and run my various blocks through my Cuttlebug to create that embossing feature. Now I got to tell you, some of these embossing folders, they're very, I don't know, they're very hard on the paper. As you can see, that purple one, it was like really, like my paper became really rickety, if that's even a good explanation for it. But it was really hard. And so what I found when I was doing this green one, I have to wet the paper a little bit to soften it and then run it through my embossing folder. Now, I don't know if you guys are interested in it, but I'm going to tell you anyways because I wrote it down, the kinds of folders that I used for this particular layout. So I used a Darius stripe, and that's, I think, the purple one. I used a Cuttlebug Argyle, and that's the kind of the rectangular-ish type of design. I used the Darius Flower. Paper Studio Stars Frenzy, and that's the one with a bunch of stars. Cuttlebug Divine Swirl, that's the one with the light green. The Darius Honeycomb, I think that's the orange one. Cuttlebug Spots and Dots, and that will be the blue one. And then the Darius Vine, which is the dark green. I was initially wanting to use my Swiss dots for the letters for my title, but I ended up losing some steam because I figured if I'm going to do that, I need to cut the letters with my silhouette, to create the solid or the solid fonts for my title. But I was kind of lazy to pull out my silhouette here, and so I just decided to just use some letter stickers. But that's another option that you can do if you want to use your embossing folders, is to have just like a simple font letters cut out with either a die cut, like a wafer thin die, or a die cut machine, like a electronic die cut machine, and then run those letters through your die cut machine with a embossing folder sandwich, and that will create some of the designs too. I also added some, as you can see, a scallop border to differentiate between the pattern paper and the edges of the photos, and also the edges of my paper blocks. So these photos are of me and my daughter about 2 summers ago. I think it was 2019, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe, no, it would have been 2019. This week, my oldest son was at a church camp, and then my youngest son was at a VBS, you know, those vocational Bible schools that they do in the summer. And so it was just me and my daughter. And so for the whole week, we were doing fun stuff together. Like we went for a run one day. She helped me put together a project that she was going to do with her young women group at church. And then we went out to go get some boba. We discovered a boba tea place. If you've watched my process videos before, you know, we love boba tea in this Tolman household. So anyway, so I just wanted to document how it was so fun to spend the time, just one-on-one time with my daughter. So this layout is coming along pretty well. Now those flowers, I actually, they're leftovers from a layout that I created last year for the love of crafting and sharing. We were to use scraps, and I created a layout with a bunch of flowers. If I remember, I'm going to link that in the description box below. But I just cut a bunch of flowers with some scraps of pattern paper, and because I've had them for a while, I've decided to pull them out, and because this is a feminine page, I decided I will use some flowers there, so that will be my accent. And I decided to just put that in two different spots of my layout. I usually do a visual triangle, but honestly, if I were to create a visual triangle, I don't know, it wouldn't have worked with this particular layout just because all my photos are on the top. If I were to put that on that top side to create that triangle, I would have covered something on my layout. And if I put it on the bottom, I just feel like, I don't know, the triangle will not fit my, or will not include rather my photos. So that's kind of where my head was when I was putting together my clusters of flowers. So now that I've talked about the embossing folders and basically the layout, I want to take this moment to give a shout out to a subscriber and a really creative crafter. Her name is Penny and she's Scraptabulous Pages on Instagram, because she has been playing along with this digging through my stash challenge, and she posts her layouts when she's done with them at Instagram, and she mentions me, tags me with them. So I'm so grateful for Penny for playing along, for tagging along, because then it makes me feel like I'm not alone doing this. And I've been so inspired by her pages. So I know it took a while for me to give a shout out for her because it's already March. But if you guys are ever interested in following along, just use the digging through my stash hashtag. And if you are on Instagram, just mention me so I know to come and check out your page and take a look and leave some love on your creation. So thank you so much for Penny to Penny for participating, and I hope that this inspires not only Penny but everybody else that's watching to dig and pull out those embossing folders, because I know you have them, right? I'm not the only one that have kept them, right? I hope so. But anyways, we are on the finishing touches. So I just used the title Just Us Girls, and I did use some very, very old My Little Shoebox letter stickers for that, and it's just glittery, so I thought it was nice. And then to finish off my flowers, I am adding some buttons with some twine, and that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys like this video and you'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. My very, very final thing that I'm going to do with this layout is to add some photo corners, because I don't know, I was looking at it and it just feels like it was missing something, especially on the edges. And so I'm going to pull out these gold Heidi Swap photo corners, and I'm going to add that to all four corners of the layout, and that will be it for me. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you guys another day. Bye.